So it's that time of the month again. It's time to pay child support. Or wait, do I really have to do that if my son is making more than me? And do I really have to do that if my son is an AI robot powered by ChatGPT? I don't know, I guess we're gonna have to check what he's been up to find out. Hey! So as we have talked about before in this video, Sponge Truths is my firstborn son. As you can see here, our channels have very similar facial features, genetics and stuff, and he is an AI sponge tuber. Or we can just call him a sponge tuber, cause the AI is like unnecessary to even mention at this point. Almost all of them are AI. And Sponge Truths has been doing really well recently and almost caught up to me in subscribers, which would make me a proud dad if I didn't kinda disown him in the last episode. But we need to check out what he's been doing and if his content has improved. I mean, he is my son, so he probably hasn't, but he's gotta be doing something right to pull these views in. Let's take a look at his most viewed video, this one.
Spongebob had a unique identity, a show that can go from lighthearted and hilarious to completely off the wall, surreal in the blink of an eye.
Aw, my son went through puberty while I was out getting milk. His voice sounds completely different.
Squidward somehow managed to snag himself a big tiki head mansion on a fast food cashier's salary.
This is Spongehenge, an episode so ambiguously creepy that fans skip it while watching. But what if Spongehenge is more than just another creepy outlier? What if, buried underneath the weird visuals and unsettling tone, there's actually something deeply meaningful going on?
It's actually like baffling to me how obviously AI this is. The voice sounds like AI, but it's also like shit like this is exactly how ChatGPT talks.
I've rewatched this episode more times than I'd like to admit. I went through every season looking for patterns, callbacks, and context.
Hate to break it to you, but you're a robot, so you can't watch things.
Not only did it change my views on the episode, it changed my vision about the legacy of Spongebob as a character, and as a show. But before we dive into what Spongehenge actually means, first we need to break down what actually happens in the episode.
Wait, why ice cubes? Next he recaps the episode for 5 minutes.
Longtime fans know this isn't normal Spongebob sound design. The show rarely, if ever, uses tones like this. It sounds similar to an ocarina, maybe even a flute. Definitely not Hawaiian ukulele background music. It's eerie. It lingers.
Aight bro, calm down. It's just some music. I get that you have to play it up, but chill.
But the jellyfish? They love it. They're vibing. They swarm to Spongebob like he's a walking Spotify playlist. Dancing, twirling, even floating inside him like it's a jellyfish mosh pit.
By the way, these are exactly the type of jokes, if you can call them that ChatGPT likes to tell. It's just comparing stuff to like relatable, real world stuff.
Even when the morning came, it only attracted more jellyfish towards Spongebob. They block him from going anywhere, literally trap him with good vibes. Eventually, Krabs helps him to get on Krusty Krab by dragging him with a fish hook.
Get on Krusty Krab.
To get on Krusty Krab.
Bro, the text-to-speech is malfunctioning. We gotta get you some new batteries for Christmas.
But he doesn't stay long. The jellyfish return, the wind gets worse, and the Krusty Krab? Gone. Launched into the air like it owed someone money.
These audio glitches are a bit suspicious, but I can't really speak on that, as my audio is messed up a lot.
And Spongebob gets an idea. He starts building, not one, but dozens of massive stone versions of himself placed in a circle, each one tuned to catch the wind just right. It's basically Spongehenge, now in surround sound.
Audio fucking up again, but what do you mean it's basically Spongehenge? It's literally Spongehenge. That's what the episode is called. That's why the episode is called that.
It's eerie, unfamiliar, and that's intentional. On the surface, this episode is just Spongebob dealing with jellyfish trouble. But dig a little deeper, and it starts feeling like a metaphor for obsession.
A small audio issue? I can't even hear you. This gotta be how it's like listening to my live streams where I can't boost the audio from my trash ass mic. I do that in all my videos, by the way. I have to boost it up so much, I have no idea how to fix it.
Since this episode was aired, a lot of people have already constructed a lot of good theories. And by using every single one of those theories, I was finally able to solve the true meaning behind the episode.
What does this even mean? Did you really read and watch every single theory about Spongehenge to make this video? Or is this just ChatGPT's way of explaining away how it takes information from others to make your videos?
Some fans believe this wasn't just about jellyfish or monuments. It was about the people behind the show. Spongehenge was episode 99B, the end of season 5, right before the show's tone and quality took a sharp dive.
Cap. Also, this most fans believe this and fans said this. That shit is how you really know this is written by AI, cause he's not citing any sources. Like not even anything on screen, not a video, not a like Reddit thread or anything.
The weird tone, the somber pacing, the lack of resolution. It's not a glitch, it's intentional. It's the sound of the creators letting go. Then again, as we all know, the shows didn't stop there. It keeps going with season 6.
Ah yes, Spongebob season 5, where the show famously was supposed to end, with the major shifts in the show.
The only reason I could think of was that this was just two gods having a quarrel with one another, just like Greek gods would do. Their fights often led to suffering for their own people. But that's kind of dragging it too far. The show doesn't even lean into Greek mythology that much. Aside from using characters like Neptune and Atlantis, they never really mentioned anything else.
Ah, famous Spongebob character from Greek mythology, Atlantis.
There's a blueprint for this breakdown hidden in an older episode, The Sponge Who Could Fly. Also Spongehenge.
It's also not a line from the episode. I'm not joking, he just made that up. Spongebob does not say this in The Sponge Who Could Fly. By the way, this is what Spongebob is actually saying in the clip he's showing.
It was fun while it lasted. I guess I'm not meant to fly after all. Huh?
It's really funny cause that made up line is really similar to what he himself says right before.
Until he finally succeeds. And the town? They hate him for it. They mock him, they turn on him. They only like him again when he crashes and gives up.
So I'm guessing ChatGPT just added a line into the episode to go with that. So I watched this really good video on how to detect AI in writing, and one of the things mentioned that is a tell is the use of the phrase "it's not just this, it's this." And man, the Sponge Truths use this a lot.
This isn't just weather, it's judgment. This isn't passion, it's compulsion. They're not tributes, they're warnings. Not to be loved, just to be remembered. SpongeBob doesn't solve a problem, he gets consumed by it. They weren't him. They were replicas. The statues don't complain, they don't change, they just stand there and look like SpongeBob. This wasn't just about jellyfish or monuments. It was about the people behind the show. It's not a glitch, it's intentional. It wasn't just about SpongeBob or art. What if it was about faith?
I don't know, maybe he just has a limited vocabulary. After all, it's not like he uses like super complicated words all the time.
You see, after analyzing all those theories, maybe none of the theories are technically correct.
Which theories? Show one theory you have quote-unquote analyzed on screen, bro. Oh right.
There's that one user who believes SpongeBob turns his garage into his library when he wants to. Like a transformer, but for places.
Like showing a random Truman Show Reddit thread when talking about something about SpongeBob from Reddit. This is because ChatGPT lies and credits the theories it itself writes, or not writes itself, because that's giving it too much credit. It's often from somewhere, but they're crediting it to users on random sites. Like he says one Reddit user or something like that, and he doesn't have a source to put on screen, he doesn't have like an original post or something, because it's just not true.
What if these theories aren't competing ideas, but steps in a larger story? The joke that never lands, the goodbye disguised as nonsense, the godless world where no one is listening, the obsession with art. They all build toward one final idea, the one that ties it all together.
Like, tell me you think this is a human saying these words that a human came up with. To me at least, it's so obvious.
that Spongehenge isn't trying to explain the lore behind, it's a prophecy to the future. One cryptic love letter from a land beyond the grave. The last gasp of the original team before they vanished into the corporate wind tunnel.
What is this obsession with the Season 5 to Season 6 transition? Like, you would think this is where Hillenburg and others from the original team left or something, but no, it's just Season 5 to Season 6, like what?
After the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which creator Steven Hillenburg always intended to be the grand finale.
Not even the right movie. Like, if you just uncrop your screenshots of the poster, you would see that it's the movie you yourself talked about earlier.
In the movie Sponge on the Run, but that movie is so isolated from the main series.
Also, source.
After the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which creator Steven Hillenburg always intended to be the grand finale, most of the original crew dipped, Hillenburg included. He didn't want SpongeBob to become just another endless franchise. He wanted it to end while it still meant something.
You know the SpongeBob movie came out between seasons 3 and 4, right? Like, years before Spongehenge. I see why you could be confused, since you apparently think Sponge on the fucking Run is the original SpongeBob movie.
But was it really alive? Or was it just a replica? A hollow version of what it used to be? Sounds familiar? That's Spongehenge. It's not just a weird episode, it's a prophecy. A parody of what SpongeBob would become after the original creator is no longer with us.
Idiot. How is it a prophecy if it already happened before the episode? Like, I'm going insane. He keeps talking about this episode being a last hurrah from the original team before many of them left. Like, the original team he is referring to hadn't already left years before this episode was made. Like, it's season 5.
It's a prophecy. A parody of what SpongeBob would become after the original creator is no longer with us.
Unless he literally means Hillenburg's passing, which would be pretty tasteless to use in your theory, but I mean, it's not what he's talking about, since he keeps mentioning the original team leaving and stuff. He just has his seasons and years confused by like a lot.
It turns you into something else, something people want you to be. Suddenly SpongeBob isn't SpongeBob anymore, he's a mascot. His friends turn on him, not because they hate him, because they don't recognize him. So he runs, he hides.
And then classic SpongeBob kills him with a hammer. Like, this theory sucks and feels exactly like ChatGPT would write the theory.
And alone in a cave, he sculpts. Not to be loved, just to be remembered. Like an artist pouring everything into a final piece no one asked for.
Kinda like this theory, gang. I also can't get over how the voice on this channel has changed like multiple times and it has never been addressed.
A long and painful process to make a legacy worth being remembered. And the statues? They're not tributes, they're warnings.
It's not this, it's this.
To us, the fans. That one day, you'll be cheering for something bigger, louder, and not the real ones.
Nah bro, change the background. You're still my son, what are you trying to do here?
The statues don't complain, they don't change, they just stand there and look like SpongeBob. Just like the modern episodes. More episodes came, more SpongeBobs.
That's not an episode, that's that movie. I don't know, was it the first SpongeBob movie?
But they weren't him. They were replicas. Polished, heartless, made from stone. No feelings, no weirdness, just content.
The irony is crazy, bro, like,
So maybe Spongehenge wasn't nonsense after all. Maybe it was the original team's final message. A whisper buried in the wind. A warning about fame, a goodbye to the fans. And a time capsule for what the show used to be before it got lost in its own echo.
Shut up. I'm not watching another video from this robot, I'm gonna go insane. Child support denied, my son is not human, so I don't have to pay shit.